Russia leaves the war. Russia has a revolution. Now, before we get started on the story, this is Tsar Nicholas. And even though he's attractive, he is not well liked. He's an absolute ruler. He has all the power, and he believes he has divine right. God gave him his power. On top of that, Russia's got problems. We got high taxes, little land for the peasants or the people don't have access to a lot of land in order to make money and grow food. And there's a big food shortage. So the people are hangry. They're hungry and that makes them angry. If you remember from the French Revolution, these three things are not a good mix. Then on top of that, Russia's army is not doing too hot against the Germans. They're losing. They've got a lot of people, but they did not industrialize, so they don't have as many awesome weapons. On top of that, some of them don't have any shoes. Some of them don't even have a gun. So you've got a lot of soldiers that are abandoning the battlefield anyways. And a lot of soldiers are, of course, dying. On top of that, they don't have food and they don't have fuel. It's getting crazy. You know, people are not going to be happy. Speaking of unhappy people, the workers are striking. They're out in the streets and they're like, we want peace. Get us out of this war. We need bread. You know what happens when mamas don't have bread for their babies, right? They get hangry. And so first they send in the police officers and they're like, dude, you police officers get a handle on these workers. The police officers get there and then they're like, no, I'm with the workers. And the police officers just leave and they join in with the workers' strike. So then Tsar Nicholas sends in his personal army, the Cossacks. The Cossacks come in on horses. They're big and bad. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to kill these people either. We're kind of on their side. So after that, Tsar Nicholas knows he's got nothing. And then bigger problems. So this group called the Bolsheviks. I know, ha ha ha, Bolsheviks sounds funny. No, Miss West did not curse. This group called the Bolsheviks is going to take over the government by force. They're like, we will give peace, land, and bread to everyone. It's going to be based on equality for everyone. And the Bolsheviks overthrow the government. Here's their leader. I know, he's so good looking too. Vladimir Lenin. So here he is promising peace, land, and bread. Him and his Bolsheviks take over in November of 1917. When Russia leaves World War I, the Bolsheviks, they surrender to Germany. They don't want anything to do with the war. They're promising people peace, so they're going to get out of the war. They have to give up a lot of land to Germany because they're surrendering. So Germany's able to take a whole bunch of this land. They're not going to have it for very long because they're going to end up losing World War I anyways. But you can see quite a bit of land is taken from Russia in order for Russia to get out of World War I. Then there's a civil war in Russia. It's the Reds versus the Whites. It's not the color of the people. It's just the color of their flag. Think of it that way. The Reds are the communists, and they win the civil war. The Reds take over, and Russia has a new name. It is called the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or the USSR, aka the Soviet Union.